time I came across today's guest was on Facebook. I watched a video of him in a rural classroom surrounded by excited learners using music and rhythm as a teaching methodology, turning lessons into songs, transforming learning into joy, and creating a space where children who once struggled to engage were suddenly alive and confident and excited. In that moment, I was moved. It reminded me that education is more than textbooks and exams. It is creativity, innovation, and from the heart. It is finding ways to reach every child, especially those in the rural communities. That video stayed with me because it was a beautiful moment and it demonstrated how a teacher can become a bridge of hope. Since then, his impact has only grown stronger. In just a space of 1 week, this guest has been recognized nationally. He has won or received 2 national recognitions for his exceptional work in education. He was honored as the National Best Transformational Teacher of the Year by the National Academy of Student Achievement Awards Ghana, and he was also nominated for the Most Impactful Teacher of the Year, where he emerged as the first runner-up. I think he deserves some applause here. Amazing. So the Ghana Education Prestigious Awards further celebrated his influence by honoring him as the most innovative and creative teacher of the year. Our guest today is Mr. Bismark Ola Okutu, widely known as Sir Ola31, a passionate teacher in one of the coastal villages in Ghana. Teaching for him was never just a job, it was a calling. He said this in one of his videos. His love for education fueled a deep love for humanity, leading him to establish the Hope for Humanity Foundation, an initiative providing essential educational and social support to underprivileged learners. Through his foundation, he has provided over 300 school uniforms, footwears, bags, books, and learning materials to students across schools he serves. Today's episode, we are going to explore a very powerful topic: education in rural areas, girls' education, and the hope for humanity. We will unpack the realities of rural schooling. We will highlight their unique challenges. We will examine how teachers' commitment in rewriting the narrative for children who might otherwise be left behind. So, Sir Ola, I believed I mentioned your name right. Bismark Ola Okutu.
Yes,
Great.
please.
It is a privilege to have you with us, and welcome to the Bold Conversations with Joyce. My name is Joyce Arthur, and the topic that we are going to discuss, I'm sure anybody who is watching or listening to this podcast knows that, okay, we are in a field of Joyce, an area that she is very passionate about. And I have seen on social media the amazing things that you do and all the awards and the recognitions that you've received. They are well deserved. Well done, and keep up the amazing work that you are already doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Sir Ola, maybe some of my listeners or some of the listeners of the Bold Conversations with Joyce podcast, this might be their first time of hearing your voice or even seeing you. So can you briefly describe who you are, where you were born, where you had your education, and if you encountered any challenges growing up in your community? Feel free to share that as well.
Thank you very much. So I go by the name Bismark Ola Okutu, widely known as Ola31, like you said. I was born in one of the coastal villages in the Greater Accra region, known as Akalabanga. Growing up in such a community, we turned out to go for fishing, and it has been our main source of livelihood. So as a young boy, we tend to follow that path. Go to fishing, make ends meet, and then start a family in the village. After some time, I moved from the village to Ashaiman to stay with my uncle. So I was there for some time. That's where I began my basic education. And thanks be to God, from Ashaiman, I moved to further my education in the secondary school, then my Methodist days, senior high school, where I came out with flying colors. Then after completing senior high, I decided not to further my education because at that time I had passion for football as well. So even though uh, my mom was ready to go the extra mile to support me, I took a decision not to further my education anymore. So after completing SHS in 2012, I decided to follow football. I was hardly in the football field for 4 good years, and nothing was forthcoming. So in 2016, a very good friend of mine, Wesla, asked me what I really wanted to do with my life because we completed together and she was done with uni and I was still at home. So I told her, aside football, the only thing I see myself doing is teaching. So I was there one day when she bought forms for me and she brought it to my house that I should apply. I was surprised. I did that and then I got admission to the Peki College of Education in the Volta region of Ghana. So after 3 years, I graduated with first class honors. So during my stay in college, that was where I really got to understood that teaching is really something that God has blessed me with. And I dream and aspire that I'll be able to teach at a higher level and maybe one day become a professor or something. So that is Sawola for you. Thank you very much.
That is such an inspiring story. And I believe that definitely once you have the vision and you are always working towards it. So I believe that in some years to come, your name is going to change from Sir to now Professor Ola. And I cannot wait to witness that and see the more amazing things that you are going to do in the lives of these children or in the lives of the students that you will teach. So let me quickly chip in with this question. So you said that your mother really wanted you to go to school after senior high, but you did not want to go. You wanted to go into football, right?
Yes, please.
So was there anything you experienced either from the community or from your childhood that might have killed your interest in education? that
Okay,
that
so
might have caused you to decide to go into football, because football is also a very lucrative career. We have a lot of big footballers out there, right? Yes, but I'm looking at it that coming from a home where your parents want you to go to school and you wanting to choose a different career. Was it just a passion or there was something that triggered maybe a challenge or something that you observed that made you lose interest in going further in education, but rather wanting to pursue?
okay, so I think what actually happened was that even though I had the passion for football, back in school when I was in primary school and then even the junior high, I used to teach my colleagues when teachers are not around. So after SHS, I was influenced by a friend. I was influenced by a friend. And we made the decision that we are not going to further our education anymore. So a friend actually influenced me and told me that when you further your education, you go to school, you still come back home, difficulty in getting jobs in Ghana. So instead of doing that, why not focus on football? So I listened to my friend, and to be honest with you, if I had followed that idea, I would have regretted till now because that friend who influenced me in making that decision, he is currently at home doing nothing. So when I look back and think of what happened some years back, I can only thank Tesla, a friend who came through for me. So I don't think there was a major
Great,
challenge.
great, great,
I think the main issue
great.
was peer pressure or an influence from a friend. Thank you very much.
Wow, I see. I think what you said is very real. Sometimes peer pressure can cause us to do things that ordinarily we wouldn't want to do. And sometimes it is good to have people who see your potential and are able to push you to pursue that potential that they see in you. So thankful to Priscilla. Shout out to her wherever that she is for to go back to school. So I know that the conversation is getting very interesting, right?
Definitely.
I would want to know one more thing as a follow-up question to the story that you shared. So currently with what you do, now you are an inspiration to a lot of rural children and all that. How are you using this experience with your friend, right? He convincing you to go into football and not go to school because there are no jobs after school, right?
Definitely.
So there are equally current children who are going through peer pressure here and there. How are you able to use your experience to advise them? And has it yielded any interest? Have you been able to change, a child's decision due to peer pressure? Have you been able to make any impact with your story?
Yes, please. So I remember when I was doing my teaching practice way back in 2018, I had some students that I used to teach. So some of them actually told me that after school, after JHS, they will not even further their education to the senior high. So I asked them their reasons, and it was very funny to realize that they shared a similar experience as mine. So they told me about how friends tell them that in Ghana, even when you further your education, this and this and this and that. So I sat them down and I spoke to them. I used myself as an example to them. And I told them that if I should have listened to my friend, I'm not sure I would have been here teaching them this day. So I spoke to them, and then thanks be to God, they listened to me. They went ahead, went to senior high school, and then even furthered their education to the university. Some of them graduated with first class honors, second class upper honors, and I was there when I received calls from them, I received messages from them, I received packages from them just to thank me for the advice I gave them years back. I think it has yielded positive results in the lives of my learners.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I am so glad to hear that you've been able to change some people's decision with your story. I understand that, graduate unemployment is very high in Ghana, in Africa, and even in the world. When you come to the developed countries in the US here, there are still graduates who are not employed, right? Just that I think it is quite high in Ghana and in Africa. But usually people think that we only go to school just to get a job. But education grooms an individual holistically, right? So it is not just getting a job is just like a part of it, right? But we don't go to school purposely to come out and then come and work. So this is to everyone listening who has been advised that because of the graduate unemployment and all that, so don't go to school. You can still do your entrepreneurship. You can still do whatever that you want to do that may not necessarily be education related, but for the sake of transformation, for the sake of you being groomed holistically, you still need to go to school. And when you are done, you can still pursue whatever that you want to pursue. And it's
Definitely.
very fine. So I mentioned it earlier that the first time that I encountered your work was through a video that I saw on Facebook where you were using music and rhythm to teach, which was to me, it was very, very inspiring. So how effective has this approach been in improving learning outcomes and also engaging in your classroom? How effective has it been?
Thank you very much. So this teaching approach or pedagogy happens to be very effective as far as I am concerned. Because when I was posted to my first station as a professional teacher, when entertainment, I see students singing secular music and they're able to sing them with word for word, word for word. So myself, I'm a lover of music. And the genre of music I love most is what we call Jama. I don't know if you know about that. Jama in Ghanaian.
Yeah, Jama, Jama. Yeah.
So I'm the leader of the gospel Jama group here in Accra, Ghana, and I lead songs as well. So I asked myself, if these kids are able to sing secular music word for word, then why not I incorporate music into our teaching and learning activities? Because if they can sing word for word, then definitely it can stick in their minds forever. But then one thing people don't really know is that they think when I use the music, I'm only helping them to memorize what I'm teaching them. But it really goes beyond that. Before the music will come in, I make sure they understand whatever we are doing, even before the music comes in. So sometimes the music is just there to make the things that we learn concrete. And once it's
Mm,
fun, they do it with joy and excitement in their hearts, and they make the lesson flow. So, as far as I'm concerned, this particular pedagogy has been very effective.
mm,
And
mm, mm.
in exams and whatever, they're able to produce good results because of this pedagogy.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
great, great, great. That is so inspiring to hear. So if I may ask, you said that you teach them to understand first before you use it, like you form a rhyme with it, right?
Mhm.
So do you use your full teaching hours, right? Like how are you able to manage your teaching hours
Okay.
to, give them the knowledge first before the music? Do you have
Okay.
does the school give you a special extra hours for you to teach the music, or it is all part of the hours that you've been assigned to?
Okay. Thank you very much. The new curriculum states that there is something in the new curriculum we call starter. So for every lesson, there needs to be a starter. So this starter kind of motivate the students. It brings them, makes them ready for the lesson. So there are some that I use as starters that are in relation to the lesson I want to deliver. So a starter should not take more than 5 minutes of your instructional hour. So mostly what we do, you don't spend more than 5 minutes doing that. Because if we should use almost all the instructional hours, we'll end up not achieving anything. And as a teacher, when you are using music, because it is entertaining and fun, when you don't really have a control of the class, you end up following the student, using all the instructional hours just to stay. So before I
Mm,
deliver my lesson, I structure my lesson properly and carefully. I know the duration I'll be using for a song. I know the duration I'll be using for the teaching and learning activities. I know the duration I'll be using for assessment.
mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I know, like you rightly mentioned, that kids, if they find something very interesting, if you don't take care, you may end up using all your instructional hours just for it. So how are you able to ensure that you get their attention, right? Because I know, if not anything, the moment say Ola is coming to class, they are expecting music one way or the other, right?
Definitely.
So, and some of them, if you are not careful, they may lose concentration even on the main teaching, right? So how are
Definitely.
you able to capture their attention for the main teaching as well?
So one thing I always tell my learners, even though they are young, I tell them that anytime I stand in front of them, I want their 100% attention and concentration. And every lesson I teach, I expect them to be able to understand. Where they don't understand, they should feel free and ask questions. I'm ever ready to give them explanations. So when I stand in front of them, once I'm entering into the class, they know I'm here. So I know most of these students, they have issues and problems at home. So when they come in the morning, the first thing I do is to welcome them. Sometimes I go around them a hug, give them a handshake. I ask them how their night went and all that. So I realized that they kind of feel ready for me. So whatever I ask them to do, they do it. So when we sing and I ask them to stop, they stop. I tell them, okay, now it's time for us to do this. Then they follow. So the kind of relationship and rapport I have with them, they kind of listen to me. So when I'm ready to deliver my
Mm-hmm.
lesson, the whole class is quiet. When I'm ready to give them music, the whole class is up. We all do it together. When it's time for
Mm,
us to do exercise or assignment, they involve themselves. So I kind of train their mindset and their mentality, even though they are young. I tell them, even though you are young, for you to become a better person, it starts straight from the mind. So that's the kind of
mm,
habit I want
mm,
to put
mm.
in them from their infancy, even before they go to higher grades and upper classes. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And I think from all indication, this pedagogy has been very effective for you, for the school that you teach, and also for the kids. So, do you believe that this kind of creative method of teaching should be formally integrated in our educational system in Ghana and even beyond Ghana? But let's start from Ghana first. Like, do you think that it is something that we can formally consider making it like a policy?
Okay, I think so because anytime I make those videos, I have colleagues from all over the country who use those same videos in their classrooms. Yes, and they'll post it
Mm,
on social media. So I think if this pedagogy is not that effective, teachers from the country wouldn't be using it in their classroom. So some of them use it and then they mention me in their post. Then I'll just go and repost. When I see those things, I feel so fulfilled because colleagues that I don't even know of are also using my pedagogy because they find it effective. So I'm of the view that it is something that should be incorporated into the national curriculum. Thank you very much.
great, great, great. Beautiful, beautiful. I think I like the part where you said that even some of your colleagues in other schools pick it up. So it means they have also seen that the pedagogy is very effective. So
Definitely.
I am also of the belief that maybe it is time that the Ghana Education Service, the Ministry of Education, begin to look into, some of these pedagogies, some of these methods, because over the time, most of the curriculum that we use, right? I know one of the things that the ministry has been doing, trying to do, is to contextualize these curriculums, to contextualize the teaching approach, the pedagogies. So this is one something that you have been able to come up with, and it's been effective. So in our attempt to contextualize, our pedagogies, our approaches to education, to teaching and learning, I believe that it's time that the ministry also begins to take all these things into consideration. So thank you so
Definitely.
much. So now moving away from the teaching bit, let's look into your foundation, the Hope for Humanity Foundation. I have seen the amazing work that you are doing, providing shoes, providing footwears. I see them on social media, and I must say that you are really, really doing so well. So what inspired you to start this foundation?
Thank you very much. So when I was first posted to my first station as a professional teacher in the western region of Ghana, the Soja. It's a small mining community. I got there and then I realized that there are students who come to school without uniforms. There are students who come to school walking barefooted. Some come to school on an empty stomach. So I asked myself, how can a student concentrate in class when a student is starving, a student is hungry? So I made some inquiries and investigations, and I realized that it is not the fault of the student that they are going through what they are going through. So I asked myself, okay, there's a problem. What can I do? Was the first question I asked myself. So I just began with
Mm,
one learner who had like a really torn outfit to school all the time. So even after that time, when I was posted, I wasn't, we didn't receive our salaries for like 7 months.
mm-hmm,
Mhm. So I had to require, rely on some this is support from friends. Then
mm-hmm,
I provided uniform, footwear, and then a school bag for that child. The parents were very
mm,
happy. Then I was like, "Ah, if I was able to do it for this boy, there are a lot of students in the school. So let me try. When I receive my salary, I'll try and see if I can do it
mm-hmm,
for the rest." So when our salary came like the 8th month or something, then I took some part of it and then I provided uniforms and footwear, school bag for some of them. There were instances where I
mm,
will invite my wife over, she prepare lunch, and we'll give it to them, the students. So after some time, then I was
mm,
like, okay, then where this now have gotten to, I can try and establish a foundation. So a couple of friends came on board. Mr. Honorable Fred, who is currently the assistant director of my foundation, and then Mr. Azamadi Richard, he is currently director of my foundation.
Mm.
They came on board, and then the three of us together, we came together as a team, and then we started this cool foundation project. Because I realized that I can't do it all by myself. I need hands on board. So they came and then we did that. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. I like the part where you said that you saw a problem and you asked yourself that what can I do to address this problem? You did not wait for someone to come and tell you, Bismarck, do this. You did not wait for the government to come and fix it. Rather, even with a small, because I know that teacher's salary isn't much, and even sometimes the pay does not come consistently monthly, but you were still able to start this initiative, putting smiles on the face of these rural children, giving them hope, making them see that no, teaching and learning can be fun. Teaching and learning should not be like, like as if you are in a cage or you are in like it should be a comfortable environment for everyone. Yeah, that is really, really inspiring. So, you rightly said that there has been a couple of children whose lives has been transformed through your foundation. So, can you single out one person that you can say, okay, if not for this Hope for Humanity Foundation, this child might have dropped out of school. This child might have been that or been that. So like, is there a story of one person whose life has been totally transformed through your foundation?
Thank you very much. There's been a lot of kids, but then one whose
Mm-hmm.
story was totally transformed is little Jima. And as we speak now, I've even adopted him as my son. And I took him from my
Oh.
station. Yeah, I took him from my first station, and he's currently staying with me here in Accra. So when I went there, he was in basic one when I went there, and he was kind of disabled. He had difficulty in walking. So I inquired about what happened, and then I was told at the early stages of his infancy, a heavy dog fell on his leg. But due to financial difficulties, they didn't seek medical attention, and he grew up with that condition. As at the time, he was about
Mm-hmm.
7 to 8 years when I went there. So I was really touched looking at the poor boy going through that pain. Sometimes when we are in school and the weather is very cold, you feel pains in the legs.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did one random video with him
Mm.
and I posted it on social media. Then boom,
Mm-hmm.
God sends his helpers our way. I received a call from one NGO,
Mm.
Orthopedic Training Center in Salon.
Mm.
They are into those kind of bone related
Mm.
issues. And they told me they will cover the
Mm-hmm.
full
Mm-hmm.
cost of the surgery for little Jema. And today,
Whoa.
thanks be to God, little Jema is walking like a normal boy, just like his age. And he's with me now and he's schooling here in Accra. So that is one of the stories that
Beautiful,
really inspired
beautiful, 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 beautiful. Beautiful. So one thing that you said that really tagged me was you made a video of it and then you posted it on social media. I know over the years, social media I know irrespective of all the challenges that it comes with, right? One of the major importance of this social media is being able to put light to issues or bring issues to the limelight of people, and sometimes you're able to get the right people to come on board and help address some of these issues, right?
definitely
So what would be your advice? And I also see people criticize you sometimes for
a lot.
posting some of the impact that you make on social media, and sometimes I just like my mind cannot even fathom. I'm like, seeing
Uh,
is believing. If he doesn't show us, how do you expect the donors, how do you expect the people who are partnering to see
yes,
that Bismarck is using the money for the impact,
certainly.
right? So what would be your advice to, maybe someone out there who probably want to bring some of these issues to the limelight to get solutions, but they are unable to due to the fear of criticism, cyberbullying, and all that. What would be your advice to such a person?
Okay, thank you very much. From my personal experience, one thing I've gotten to realize is that no matter what we do, people will talk. Yes. And if we should live our lives based on what society will say about us, then I don't think we'll progress. So if you are out there and you want to do something like what I'm doing, go all out. As long as you have a clean heart, you have a positive soul, just go all out. People will criticize you, they will say a lot of things about you. There was a point where people said I was even using the little Jima board. I was using him to make money. They didn't know the kind of sacrifices I made for the ball. Yeah, I really made a lot of sacrifices for him. So just go all out, do your best, do it to God. One thing I believe is that whatever you find yourself doing, do it as though you are doing it unto God and not man. Let them talk. Just do what you are doing. And at the end, God Himself will reward you. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for that. So now let's move back to the Hope for Humanity Foundation again. How are you able to sustain the work that you do? I know running an NGO in Ghana can be very difficult. I run an NGO myself, and I know how difficult it is to get funding to sustain the impact that you're making. So how are you able to sustain your work?
Truth be told, just like you said, it's never easy. It's never easy. And sometimes funds from my media salary and then support from friends is what keeps the foundation going. We don't have any major source of funding from anywhere. So I have friends. Sometimes when I reach out to them, they're able to come on board and then we are able to carry out these projects. Thank you very much.
Okay, great, 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 great. I'm glad that at least you have, some people in your network who are able to support what you do. And it's my hope that any organization, NGO listening to this, anybody listening to this who have seen the amazing work that Bismark is doing would come on board, partner with you to scale up your impact, because even with the little, look at what you are already doing with it. So I believe that if you're able to get a lot of funding, a lot of support partnerships, you'll be able to do so many amazing things in Ghana. So what is your long-term vision for the Hope for Humanity Foundation? What is your long-term vision?
Okay, so want to reach out to kids across the length and breadth of the country, especially those in deprived areas. We just want to give hope to them that regardless of where they find themselves, they can become who they really want to become. And the little we can do for them is to ease the burden on them by providing them with basic educational materials like the school uniforms, the footwear, bags, stationery, among others. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And that is an amazing vision. And I believe that with what you are currently doing, if you keep on going, you are definitely going to, I'm sure there are amazing people who are going to listen to this podcast. There is a global audience who will be listening to this podcast. And I believe that anyone who have seen the work you do, anyone whose your story touches, they are definitely going to reach out, and God would make the way. And yeah, so just keep going, keep going. So if anybody wants to come on board, right, come and help you support what you are doing and then all that, how can they come on board?
Okay, so they can reach me via email. They can also reach me on my social media handles as well. I don't know if
Beautiful,
it's
beautiful.
appropriate to put them out there.
Oh yeah. So what's your email and your social media handles?
Okay, so my email is bismarkokutu31@gmail.com. On Facebook, I am Bismark Ola Okutu. On TikTok,
Great.
I'm Ola31. On Instagram, I'm
Beautiful.
Ola31. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. So we just have some few questions and we'll be done with the interview. But I must say that so far so good. Your answers have been so much on point. It's been so inspiring. And I believe that my audience too are so inspired by all the amazing responses that you've given to the questions that we have asked so far. So take me back, right? Like, how does a typical day look like for you as a teacher in a rural coastal community? Like, how does a typical when say Ola wakes up in the morning, like how does a typical day look like for you?
Honestly speaking, it's very tiring but fun. So because I stay alone, even though I'm married, but my wife is not here with me. Yeah. So
Okay.
I wake up around 5 a.m., do some one or two chores. Then I have to be in school before 7 a.m. in the morning. I supervise them into tidying the compound. Then by 8 o'clock, lesson begins. Now, because of the way I deliver my lesson, you can you can just imagine the energy I invest in the lessons. Yes. And I have a class of about 65 learners. And
Mm.
in each day, I have to teach not less than 5 lessons, 5 lessons at least. After every lesson, I have to give exercise. So look at the energy I put in delivering the lesson. When I'm done, I'll come and mark the exercise of about 55 learners, corrections, and mark corrections when necessary for about 5 lessons in a day. And on top of that, when it's break, you have 2 breaks during the day. When it's break, especially during the second break, I tend to do some fun activities with them. So I don't really have much time. So when we finish at 3 and I come home, I feel totally exhausted. But
You're
I
already
feel
exhausted.
exhausted, seriously.
Oh, I
But
see.
I felt
I see.
satisfied because I kind of give them some kind of inspiration. And anytime I'm in school, they are happy. So there are instances where some of them
Great.
they are not feeling well, but then because Stella is in class, they want to be in class.
Beautiful. That is so soothing to hear. And I can only imagine how tiresome your job is.
Very
But
tiresome.
I believe that this is where also passion becomes useful, because when you're passionate about something, irrespective of how exhausting it could be, that passion can wakes you up every day. Like, it re-energizes you
Exactly.
when you are weak. It gives you, motivation when things get tough and all that. So I'm
Exactly.
so glad to hear that. So I have seen that you are very much passionate about girl child education. So why is girl child so important to you? And what do you think are some of the unique barriers that girls in rural communities face?
Okay. One reason why girl child is very important to me is that I kind of think that when girls are being educated, it empowers them. It empowers them with some skills. It empowers them with some uh, in making some informed decisions as far as their life and career is concerned. Because we live in a society where everything happens to be for the women, the men. Oh, if there is a top position, everybody wants it to be occupied by a man. If there is some job opportunities, everybody wants it to be occupied by a man. But when we educate a girl, they can equally occupy those positions up there. I also think that when we educate our girls, kind of strengthen the economy. Late Dr. James Agnew said a quote that if you educate a man, you educate one person. But if you educate a woman, you educate an entire nation. So when we educate a girl, we kind of educate the entire or the whole nation. And it kind of improve our workforce and labor force with some adequate skills. So
Mm,
I'm so passionate about my female learners, especially those of them who are in the upper classes. I'm so passionate about them.
see?
And when we also educate them, it kind of promotes some gender equality, so that when people are sitting on tables, high tables, people occupying high positions, the girls can also be fixed there. So it shouldn't always be about we the men. That's the reason why the girl child education
Great.
is very, very important to me. But then in a way, I
Great,
find
great. I am
myself
so
to,
glad to hear that.
okay,
Yeah, I am so glad to hear that. And also hear you share that, usually when it comes to top positions, we expect men, which isn't bad, but we live in a society that is not made up of men alone. Women make up quietly above 50%. So if we are to talk population wise, women are even more than the men.
sure,
So, and we have our own perspectives, we have our own opinions to issues, right? So at
definitely,
least our opinions deserve to be heard when it comes to policies, when it comes to that. Maybe somebody may say that, okay, the men could equally make those policies, but I believe that he who has the story or the experiences is the best teacher. There is even a saying like that, right?
definitely,
So if we have women empowered enough with the skills to occupy those positions, we make the world a better place for everyone.
sure.
So thank you so much for sharing that. So for my last but two questions, I would want to ask that what have you observed to be some of the biggest challenges that rural schools, right, face, or challenges in rural education? The underlying word is rural.
Yeah,
What
okay.
have you seen to be some of the challenges?
Thank you so much. There's been a lot of challenges here in the rural communities, especially where I am now and where I came from. Now, one thing I've observed the most is that because of the financial difficulty they go through, most parents kind of have little interest in the education of their wards. They are not
Mm,
involved at all. So once the child is in school, they show that the burden is all on you, the teacher. So as a teacher, you are supposed to do
mm,
everything. Meanwhile, teaching and learning go hand in hand. They come to school, I teach. When they go home, they are supposed to learn at home. But here lies the case, the
mm,
parents do not supervise them. Even when they give assignments, they don't even care. They don't even ask them, oh, when you went to school today, what did you learn? Have you been given any homework? They don't show any interest at all,
mm,
which I think is a very bad habit.
mm,
Yes. And also,
mm,
one thing which is a major problem is infrastructure. My school, for instance, anytime the weather becomes cloudy, we have to close school
mm,
because
mm,
the roofing is leaking. We don't have any windows. We don't have any doors.
mm.
And the class is so overcrowded that I don't know if you can see some from some of my videos. I have students sitting about 4 students on the desk, 3 students on the desk. And
Yeah.
anytime, yes, anytime they're about to write, I see them quarreling. As we speak now, my class, I have students who don't
Mm-hmm.
even have a place to sit. So as a teacher, sometimes I pray
Hmm.
that some of them will be absent for others to occupy that position. Because anytime my class is full, I have students who sit on the floor. I have students who stand to write. I have students who sit on
Hmm.
the floor and write, which is a very bad thing. And it's a very big problem here in the rural community, especially where I am. Especially where I
Hmm.
am. Students come to school and then when it's break time, they have to go home to go and sometimes to go and eat at home. They go and then they come back to school very late. Break time is just 30 minutes. But because of the distance from their house to the
Hmm.
school, they go and then they spend a lot of time there. They come back and then it is fast break. You ask them when they went home, their parents send them to this, their parents said they should do this and that. It's a very, very serious challenge here. And also, most of the kids here, especially those of them who are grown, they tend to fend for themselves. So there are times that they have to go and do manual jobs, like going to fishing, going to work on someone's
Mm-hmm.
farm to be able to get something to come to school
Mm-hmm.
the next day. And it's a very big challenge. It's kind of affecting their punctuality
Mm.
in school. And their concentration now is kind of driven away from education. especially those of them who are grown, because each and every day they have to think about how they will get money to be able to feed for themselves and come to school. So it's a very big challenge here in the rural communities. Thank you.
Wow. Those are real issues from parents not being so particular about their education. And sometimes I feel, because I also was born and raised in Mori.
Okay. Okay.
You know Mori, right?
Yeah, I know
Do
Mori.
you know Mori?
Yes, I know
Yes.
Mori.
That was where I was born and raised.
Oh,
So usually because some of these parents themselves did not get education,
exactly.
they are unable to also know the essence of education, because there is no educated parent who would play with their children's education. No. So sometimes the fault is not totally from them. Some of them do not know the essence of letting you go to schools, because they themselves have not gone through it, right?
Sure.
Yeah, there is even a saying that you cannot pour from an empty cup. They don't have it. So how can they pour it into their children? So these parents, most of them need a lot of awareness and a lot of education. So that's your school. During PTA meetings, do they have PTA meetings? Do they educate the parents on the importance of educating their children? Like, do you also personally engage as parents in such conversations?
Yes, we do. We do, because my class, for instance, there is one girl in my class who is very bright. She's very brilliant. There are a couple of times that she'll be in school and then the mother will send for her that she should come to the house and come and prepare food for her. Come to the house and go and buy this for her. So there was a time I invited the mom and I told her that once your ward is in school, he or she is not supposed to come home until school closes. You should know that. There are times that the girl will be absent from school because the mother said she should go and sell. She should go and do this. So I invited the mom and I spoke to her that this girl is very young. She's very brilliant. Once she's absenting herself from school, she's not punctual in school here and there, it's going to affect her performance. So I spoke to her and then I told her that I don't want this particular student to be absent from school again unless it's a situation beyond control. So I spoke to the mother the importance of this girl being in school. And since then, she also listens to my advice and then the girl has remained in school. The only time she'll be absent is when she is not feeling well. So we do talk to them. We do organize PTA meetings. We talk to the parents. Thank you.
Beautiful. So I believe you yourself, your school are doing your best, but sometimes some of these beliefs are so entrenched. When something is entrenched and like it becomes part of them, sometimes it can be very difficult to change some of them their minds, right? Yes, and all of that. So I'm hoping that, you know, through your education, through what the school is also doing, at least we'll be able to change a lot. Because at least if you've been able to convince one parent, two parents, and now their kids are in school, those students, they also stick to the education and become more serious. They are going to perform very well, and the parents in the community will see the essence of educating their child, and that could also serve as an example to them, right? So yeah, so I believe that it's little by little. Change does not occur sometimes on a large scale. It starts little by little. So you are already making the impact, but we still need more of these initiatives. You mentioned that they go home to eat. I know in Ghana there is a school feeding program. Does your school have such program?
Okay, so it was recently that it was brought to my school. It was recently that it was brought to my school.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And honestly speaking, the when you look at the quantity of food given to the kids here, it's nothing to write home about. So the truth is, some of them even go for the school feeding. And then when I even see the food myself, I just laugh. Because they'll eat and then they have to go back home and go eat again. It's not even,
I see. Wow. But at least there is
sure.
there is provision, right? There is provision
Yes.
and all that. So which is, little by little.
Definitely.
Wow, beautiful. So my last question to you is, what would be the message? What message do you want to give to a young teacher, to an individual out there who want to also start making a difference in their own small way? What advice would you give them?
Okay. So to every teacher watching me, listening to to Ola31, wherever you find yourself, start where you are. Just do what you can. Use what you have. I started doing this thing even when I wasn't receiving salary. And today, this is how far my foundation has grown. So don't wait for the perfect time. Just begin. Only when you have any means or any resource, just begin. There is no perfect
Mm-hmm.
time anywhere. That is my only
Mm.
advice for the young teachers out there. I have a couple of teachers who reach out to me sometimes that they would love to do this and that, but they don't know how to go about it. And I was like, okay,
True, true.
I started by using some money for my own coffers to do this. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to do that? Some are not ready to use something from their own self. Yes, they feel everything is
True.
supposed to come from external forces, which is not supposed to be so. It is
Mm.
when you start, that is when someone will also come in to assist you. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Sewola, for such an inspiring conversation. I have learned so much from you today. I have learned what it looks like to start, like what humble beginnings look like, what it looks like to start something small and then grow it to a regional, to a national projects. Now you are known all over Ghana. You've been recognized nationally, and I believe that with time you'll be recognized globally as well.
Yes,
So thank you so much, and this is such an inspiring conversation. You have reminded us that indeed real change begins with ordinary people. Right? Ordinary people who want to make extraordinary commitment. And you have shown us that what one person decides to take action, the entire community can rise. So in today's discussion, you have reinforced a very powerful truth. And that is that education is not just a pathway, right? Education is a hope, it's a dignity and also liberation. And when rural children are deprived of the hope, the world loses as well. But when we invest in them, when we support them, and when we believe in them, we change destinies. So to everybody listening to this is our call to action. This is something that all of us need to take and put in our pocket. All of us needs to start doing going forward. We need to support rural education. We need to champion girl child education. We need to stand with community-led solutions like the Hope for Humanity Foundation. We need to partner with them. We need to sponsor them to make sure that they scale their impact. And we also need to use all platforms, social media, whichever platform appropriately, right? To make sure that the voices of children in the margins, the voices of children that, we don't really hear of are being heard globally, nationally, everywhere, right? So we cannot wait for someone else to fix the system, right? We must change it the way that we want to see it.
yeah.
So thank you for listening to the Bold Conversation with Joyce. If this episode inspired you, please share it, leave a review, and continue the movement. Until next time, stay bold, take action, and be the hope in someone else's story.